On May 24th, 2026 in Queens, New York, a 30-year-old man named Maxwell Jacob Friedman put his hair on the line. Not his career, not his salary, not his reputation or his legacy, or his future earning potential, his hair. The physical material growing from his scalp, that was the stakes, that was the contractual arrangement entered into by two adult professionals in a business worth hundreds of millions of dollars annually. For context, professional wrestling is theater. It is athleticism wrapped in storytelling, wrapped in spectacle. The outcomes are predetermined, the characters are constructed, the emotions are real. Even when the contest is not all of it dressed in spandex and performed in arenas for audiences who choose to suspend disbelief because the alternative is watching something less interesting. MJF is a villain. The best villain in the business. A man who was booed out of buildings from the age of 22 and understood that being hated is a skill that making 60,000 people want to see you lose requires a level of psychological sophistication that most performers never develop. He is 30 years old and 3 times world champion and has hair that is, by any reasonable assessment, very good hair. He put the hair on the line because the hero demanded it. The hero is Darby Allin, small, fearless, decorated in face paint. The kind of performer who treats his own body as a renewable resource. Despite all available evidence that it is not in 1 month as champion, he defended the title 8 times 8. The man defended a championship 8 times in 30 days and then walked into a pay-per-view main event. The match was excellent. Reviews called it one of AEW's finest. 5 hours of professional athletic theater in a sold-out stadium. And the main event delivered everything the audience was promised. MJF kept his hair. He won the title 3rd time at 30. The hair is intact. The hair has been through the entire arc. Villain champion, challenger champion again. The hair survived all of it through every promo and every match and every time. 15,000 people booed at it. A man risked his hair in front of 15,000 people and a global pay-per-view audience and kept it. This is professional wrestling. This is also, anthropologically speaking, one of the more honest transactions in modern entertainment. The audience knows what they are buying, the performer knows what they are selling. The hair was never really at risk in any permanent sense. But the audience chose to believe it was, and in choosing to believe it, they purchased something real, the feeling of stakes, the feeling that something mattered, the feeling that a 30-year-old man's carefully maintained hair was the most important object in Queens, New York on a Sunday night in May. 15,000 people were right. For 5 hours it was. Now I want to tell you about a stunt. Darby Allin climbed a scaffolding structure. Above the stage, below him was a table. On the table was MJF. Around them were 15,000 people watching at home, were thousands more who had paid for a pay-per-view broadcast. Darby Allin jumped. He said bang bang before he jumped. Bang bang is the gesture of Mick Foley, the hardcore legend who hours earlier had stood in that same building and told Darby Allin that he believed in him. So Darby Allin said bang bang and jumped off a scaffolding structure onto a man through a table in front of 15,000 people because the hardcore legend told him to believe. He hit the table. MJF was hit. Darby hit the ground, and then Darby did not get up. He lay still. The arena went quiet in the way arenas go quiet when the performance has stopped and something real has arrived uninvited. The referee checked him. The medics assessed him. And for several long seconds, 15,000 people held a collective breath because a man had jumped off a structure and was not moving. He got up. He finished the match. He lost the title. And then he was placed on a stretcher because his body had finally submitted the invoice for 8 title defenses in 30 days plus 1 scaffolding jump. Now, for anyone who does not watch professional wrestling, for anyone who has arrived here from outside the culture, I I want to be precise about what happened. A real human being jumped from a real elevated structure onto another real human being through a real table in front of a real audience and sustained a real injury to the back of his real head. The outcome of the match was decided in advance. The injury was not. That is the specific nature of this profession. The story is fiction. The body is not the character of Darby Allin is a performance. The spine of Darby Allin is a genuine biological structure that does not have a script. Professional wrestling asks its performers to take real physical risk in service of a fictional narrative. The athleticism is absolute. These are some of the most conditioned and physically capable human beings alive. They train for years, they learn to fall, they learn to absorb impact, they learn to protect themselves and each other in choreographies that at full speed look nothing like safety. And sometimes they jump off scaffolding and do not get up immediately. And the audience goes quiet, and then they get up. Mick Foley watched from ringside the man who was thrown off a steel cage in 1998 and got up and kept going, watched a man he had spoken to hours earlier jump off a structure and not move and then get up and keep going. The show was universally reviewed as one of the best AEW has ever produced. 5 hours, 15,000 people, multiple title changes, a scaffolding jump, a heel turn, a villain who kept his hair, a hero who gave everything and lost anyway. This is what the business produces at its best, not the 13 factions and the bag of onions, not the confused camera cuts to empty pre-show seats, not the administrative chaos of too many championships and not enough reasons to care about any of them. This, a man risked his hair, a man nearly died, 15,000 people felt both things completely. That is the oldest transaction in entertainment. We came to see what happens. Something happens.